Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. We're on brandplucked.webs.com. This is Will Kinney, really good on the King James Version. He's got an article on here on Jehovah, and I'm going to skip some of it. And some of it, you know, sometimes when they get into some numerical things, I'm like, eh. But anyhow, thanks for being here. Do check out our other videos and check out the playlist as well. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, share with your friends, family, church family, and put it on social media. So thanks for being here. So Jesus, is that the correct way for English-speaking people to say God in flesh, you know? And so Yeshua, Yahweh, Yeshua, 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 capitalized, all of those capitalized, Yeshua with a hyphen, Yeshua, Jeshu, Yeshu, Yehoshua, Yehoshua with a H, Yahweh, Shua, Yahweh, Shua, Yahweh, Shua, Yahweh, Shua. I think you're beginning to get the picture. Joshua, Joshua, Ioshua, Ioshua, and on and so forth. Yahshua in Hebrew, Jesus in English. So in regards to Jehovah, a remarkable thing about the King James Bible is it's found exactly 7 times. Genesis 22:14, Exodus 6:3, 17:15, Judges 6:24. Psalm 83:18, Isaiah 12:2, and 26:4. I'm not sure that that's like real significant. 7 is the number of spiritual perfection. So yeah, I just really didn't want to go into that. So the NASB only translates the word in 2 ways, as Lord and God. The NKJV has either Lord, God, or inconsistently as Yah. The one time the word Jah occurs in the KJV, but this is a different but related Hebrew word 3060, Jah. God is the creator, on and so forth. So I'm just going to skip some of this article. As I mentioned earlier, the word Jehovah as the personal name of God is found not only in the KJV, but also in Tyndale 1534, the Great Bible Cranmer 1540, Matthew's Bible 1549, Bishop's Bible 1568, the Geneva Bible 1599, the Bill Bible 1671, which I'm not sure what that is, Webster's Translation 1833, the Longman Version 1841, the Boothroyd Bible 1853, the Well-Beloved Scriptures 1862, some of these I'm not acquainted with, the Smith Bible 1876, the Revised English Bible 1877, the Sharp Bible 1883, the Revised Version 1885, Darby 1890, Young's Literal 1898, the ASV, the Ancient Hebrew Bible 1907, the Modern Reader's Bible 1907, the Improved Bible 1913, the 1936 Jewish Translation, Hebrew Publishing Company, New York, the Lamsa's 1936 translation. I'm making myself a note here. Of the Peshitta, the Fenton Bible, 1966, the New Berkeley Version. I've got reviews on several of these, by the way. The New English Bible, 1970, the KJV, 21st Century, 1994, the Living Bible, 1971, the Third Millennium Bible, 1998, God's First Truth, 1999, the Heritage Bible 2003, the Revised Geneva Bible 2005, the Torah Transliteration Scriptures 2008, the Bond Slave Version 2009, sounds like the Legacy Standard, the BRG Bible 212, and the Far Above All Translation 214. Foreign language Bibles, it uses Jehovah, and this is leading somewhere because a lot of people would say it's supposed to be Yahweh. The Spanish Cipriana de Valera Bible of 1602, and then it translated. The Spanish Reina Valera of 1865, 1909, 1960, 1995, La Version Moderna, 1929 to 2004, Reina Valera Gomez, which a lot of people like that. The Portuguese Alameda Bibles, the Portuguese O Livro 2000, the Hungarian Karoli Bible 1590, the Polish Biblia Gdański, the Tagalog Ang Dating Biblia 1905, the Malagasy Bible of 1865, the Vietnamese Bible of 1934, the German Elberfelder 1871, the German Tafel Bible of 1911. In the RSV, NKJV, NIV, NASB, and ESV, it's not there. The name Jehovah is not there. It says there's a 10-minute YouTube presentation showing God's name is Jehovah, not Yahweh. I've got a video about that as well. Some people tell us the name of God should be something like Yahweh, Yod-Heh-Veh, Yahweh, Yahweh, rather than Jehovah. The problem with this argument is there's a multitude of biblical personal names that all have Jehovah as part of the name. We read in all English versions that I'm aware of, names such as Jehoiakim, Jehiah, Jehoshaphat, Jehohanan, Jehoiachin, Jehoiada, Jehoram, Jehoshua. I've yet to see any of these English Bibles come out yet with the spelling of Jehoshaphat, Jehoiakim, Jehoiada. I do think I've seen some Bibles like that. John Hitton, PhD from Harvard, has an article about who is Yahweh, ridiculous KJV Bible corrections. I think way back years ago, I actually did a video on that as well. So we're still in Jehovah in the King James Version, and is it correct? So John Hinton is an expert in the Semitic languages, and he has a lot to say about the vowel pointing in various Hebrew manuscripts. Here's a portion of the article. For those who are still confused about the phonological issue of sound changes between and within languages, the following historical linguistic summary from the World Book Encyclopedia concerning Y to J conversion as it relates to English should be helpful. And it is extraordinarily helpful. I've used this before multiple times. The sound of the Hebrew letter Jod came into English as the letter I, used as a consonant. I'm making myself some more notes. And having the soft G sound like today's J. In the past, the letter I was used as both a vowel I sound and the consonant J sound. Now that's what a lot of people say, like Jesus means the pig and all this kind of stuff. They don't know the English language. They're looking at an I in a 500-year-old English writing, and they pronounce it like we pronounce I now. They did not back then. The OED, which is the definitive source for the English language, Oxford English Dictionary, 20 volumes, I've done reviews on that, it's a very good source, says that the sound of J, though originally printed as I, was pronounced as a soft G, Oxford English Dictionary, unabridged, 2nd edition, Oxford Clarendon, 1991. The JE sound in Jehovah was spelled IE and pronounced as JE to distinguish the consonant sound soft G of the letter I from the vowel sound of the I. Many scribes in the 1200s, this is how long ago that began putting a tail on the soft G-I, making it look like our modern J. The Spanish in the 1500s was first to more consistently try to distinguish the consonant I soft G sounds as the shape of a J. At the same time, English printers use J and I fonts interchangeably, as documented elsewhere in this book. This is Hinton, PhD, Harvard. During the 1600s, most languages have been consistently using the extended I form, now called a J, to represent the J soft G sound. Great article by him, though. So Jehovah or Yahweh. Gail Riplinger has some phenomenal stuff. Even if you don't like her, the research she's done on this is great. Scott Jones writes, Jehovah, pronounced Jehovah as in an English reading, and then it gives that. The most frequent form of the Tetragrammaton, the name of God in the Hebrew Bible, it's a direct phonetic translation based on the Hebrew Bible text with vowel points handed down by the Masoretes, and maybe even the three groups preceding the Masoretes, as seen in Geisler and Holden. Jehovah is the English rendition of the Hebrew Jehovah. Many scholars use the name Yahweh over Jehovah, claiming that it's closer to the original. Many names in the Bible use Jehu in them, proving that the Hebrews use the name Jehovah and not Yahweh. The name Jehovah is translated in the King James Bible as Lord in all caps. The name Jehovah is God in capitals. Elohim is God, and Adonai is Lord. And so then it goes into the Holman Christian Standard Bible. We're going to skip down a little bit. The name of Jesus in capital letters is found in 2 phrases, and set over his head the accusation written, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews," in Matthew 27:37, and John 19:19. And Pilate wrote a title, put it on a cross, and the writing was, "Jesus Nazareth, the King of the Jews." This, and then it goes into some number stuff that I really won't get into that. So only in the King James Bible do we have these precious truths revealed. Some people ask, well, why doesn't the King James Bible always use the word Jehovah when it occurs in the Hebrew text? And so then he lists a couple of reasons why they don't do that. And we're skipping just a little bit. The same interchangeability of the names Jehovah and Elohim is seen when comparing 2 Samuel 6. Now, I did get a lot out of this part of the article, and I read it. 2 Samuel chapter 6 with 1 Chronicles 13, where the same events and quotes are given, but one section uses the word Jehovah, the another uses Elohim. And so that's extremely important, that Elohim and Jehovah is interchangeable. We see this in John 1, that Jesus is the creator, Elohim's creator. In Genesis 1, in 2 Samuel 6:5, we read that, "And David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord," yet the exact same events recorded in 1 Chronicles 13:8. "And David and all Israel played before God, Elohim." And he goes on to list some more interchangeability of Jehovah and Elohim, also Jehovah and Adonai, such as in Genesis chapter 18. And now I'm skipping down several things here. The Hebrew word Yahweh, which is called the Tetragrammaton, the Jews refrained from pronouncing this sacred name lest they accidentally take the Lord's name in vain. While some critics claim that this was just a peculiar practice of Judaism, Jesus himself adopted this practice. Whenever Jesus quoted Old Testament passages that have the Tetragrammaton, the 4 letters, what Tetragrammaton means, he translated the Hebrew as curious, which is the Greek word for Lord. Thus, Jesus used either an Aramaic or Greek word for Lord to translate the Tetragrammaton. At the very least, the New Testament writers use curios to refer to the Tetragrammaton, and Bach has shown that extensively. And then it gives some other just tremendous links. So the basic thing is whenever you come across the Yahweh, in English, we would say this is Jehovah. And as a consequence, Jesus, because this strikes at the very heart of a lot of Christianity, because what ends up happening, first of all, people tend to do theology based on, well, we've got to be against the Jehovah's Witnesses. Bad way to do theology. Good way to do theology is get the Bible. What's the Bible say? What's the evidence say? Regardless of who else believes it or doesn't believe it. That's what you need to do. Number one. And then secondly, that if Jehovah is not the proper name and Jesus means Jehovah salvation, Jesus isn't the proper way to say Jesus. And then so the argument is then made, and there are people making this argument in droves from different viewpoints, that we've been worshiping a false god for centuries and that nobody's saved. And so just give up on Christianity or go into a heterodox form of Christianity. So God bless. Thanks for being with us. Join us daily. Check out our other videos. We'll see you. Bye-bye.